lot of artists, sort of more established artists, are now trying to adopt your methods and other people that are doing the similar thing to you because they know it works.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the world that we live in now.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, it sounds harsh, but it's like an adapt or die thing. And I get it because, like, you know, it's hard for people. Like, a lot of artists tend to be like quirky, eccentric people that just want to write good music. And of course, that's everyone's goal. But it's just like, for me, had I not had the social media, I don't know where my footing would be because I don't know it. Like, my parents aren't in the industry at all. Like, my family are musicians, but like they do it for the love of music rather than like jobs.
So is it like hobby musicians? Like they just do it on the side?
Yeah, literally. Like, my granddad was like one of those annoying people that could pick up any instrument and play it. And my mum's a pianist. Like, my dad isn't a musician but loves music. So like, I was surrounded by people that loved it. But like, again, there wasn't someone that I knew that was doing it as a job, or even like in the business as a job, which is obviously really helpful if you're a young artist. So like, yeah, I think that, you know, if you're an established artist already, I get it, because like, it's a tool. Why would you not boost what you're already doing? You know, for me it was like a big springboard, but like for some people it's just, you know, a boost. So, but yeah, it's important. I think, I just think I get it, because I have so many friends that are like, I hate doing it, and I'm like, yeah, but if you just think of it as some fun, because literally it isn't that serious what you're doing. You're literally filming yourself and you're putting it on the web, on the line. So yeah, I just think if you have fun with it, you can't really go wrong, can you?
That is great advice.
Yeah,
I've got a lot of friends in the industry who loathe it.
Yeah,
who just hate doing it.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to think about it. Just, you're literally going out, having a bit of fun, shooting some content.
Yeah.
And then maybe grab a bit of lunch afterwards. You know, like, just make it a bit like a day out.
Coffee afterwards and we had a chat. Yeah, so it's just not, like, it's nice. And I get it, because as well with that, I drag my sister to it, because I don't, like, it can be quite daunting doing the content itself. But if you've got like, especially if it's in public, like when it's just you and the camera, it's less daunting, obviously, because you know, whatever. But if you're doing something in public, I get it, because like that was scary, like going up to people and then being like, go away. Like, I'm not trying to do anything bad.
This is supposed to help you.
I think people are so like jumpy in London. I think I'm going to try and like nick their wallet or something, like run away. I'm like, no, guys, I just want to tell me something you love about your body, and they're like, no, I'm late for work.
And you're like, okay.
You're like, okay. But God. I do get it. It can be daunting, but it's such a big, like, I think an opportunity is the way to look at it for like a lot of young creatives, or like even established musicians, really. I know so many, like, you use it a lot, and I love your content as well. Like, and I think even producers, writers, like, they can just like promote their work so much. And I see loads of dance content as well. Like,
but it's a free opportunity.
Yeah, it's
you
free.
don't even have to pay for it.
Legit, you don't, and there's so much you have to pay for in this industry.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
You know, like making a song is expensive, and I think that, you know, it's the one way that if you're with a label, like, it's the one thing that you don't have to. The label doesn't have to put money in for you to then earn back in your music.
You've got to take the freebies these days.
You've got to take the freebies. It's the cost of living crisis, guys.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Maybe a little bit too dark. You don't have to talk about it, but I try and listen to it as if I'm somebody who wants to kind of aspires to be somebody like you. And I know one thing that maybe people would be wondering is, have you had to face any negative side of things by putting your content out online?
Yeah, definitely. I have a rule of myself now of like, if a video reached a certain number of views or something, I just don't look at the comments, because I'm like, do you know what?
There's always going to be people.
There's always going to be people saying that, you know, whatever it is that they don't like about what I've done. And I'm like, I think a lot of the time with like girls as well, in particular, it's about appearance. And I think that's such a shame, because then that makes young girls hyper fixate on appearance in a world that already makes you look at the way that you look a lot more than is necessary. It's not that deep. There's so much more to someone than literally the way that they look. And like, a lot of the time I just have stuff about the way that I look, and I've reached a point where I like, you wouldn't be human if it didn't affect you.
Sure. Like,
because a lot of people are like, it doesn't bother me. It goes straight over my head. And like, to an extent, like, you can laugh about it, but actually at the end of the day, that is a personal comment that someone's just made to you, and it's like bullying on a large scale. So it's like one way that you can just don't look it Like, do you know what I mean? And my mum really struggles as well because I'm her baby, and like, you know, I think it's hard for parents to watch. She's like, I'm gonna comment back, and I'm like, don't, because like that's literally what they want. Like, there was literally a troll called on my account. Like, it was quite funny. Sorry, I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Yeah,
it's called Bleepinator.
I'll bleep the name.
Bleepinator. Yeah. They said something horrible, and my mum's like, I'm gonna reply, and I'm like, Mum, look at their handle. Like, do you really want to
They're trolling. They're trolling.
They're just literally like, they haven't even put it's like an avatar of themselves that they don't want to be seen, so they just want attention. Like, you don't,
and they do it to vent, don't they? They've obviously got some stuff going on, so they vent online and just tear people down.
100%. And like, I mean, you have that, and then also on the industry side of like you making music, you have loads of opinions anyway of like, you've made something and then it has to go through like someone to say that you can release it as well, like sometimes. And it's, I mean, there's just so many opinions, and I'm just like, it can make it hard to trust your own at times, like, because you're like, you're the creative at the end of the day, but you've got other people saying that might not be their cup of tea, but actually you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea anyway, so you might as well do what you want if you can. Do you know what I mean?
Great advice.
You might as well just do what feels good and keep those fingers and toes crossed, because that's what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
It's great. I mean, it's so simple, isn't it? Don't look at them. But
it's hard.
It is. And like, you went through it at the beginning of your YouTube career all those years ago when...
Cheers. Yeah, but it's true. Back in, I think we had a coal-fired computer back then. We just kept putting coal in it. Fire it up, mate. But yeah, it's true. I think my dad similarly wanted to reply. He wanted to start replying to them and giving them hell, but it doesn't do anything because they will fight you to the end of the earth.
They will, but
they want that, don't they?
It's good engagement at the end of the day.
It is,
but
just my dad and these just going back and forth.
Probably like a 12-year-old, like.
Yeah, my watch time's gone through the roof.
Yeah, it's just crazy numbers now. It's I think, I don't know. There's not much to say about it because, like, what can you do?
Yeah,
like,
you can't do anything.
You're putting yourself out there, and I know that, you know, in an ideal world, everyone would be really nice and they would keep their negative thoughts themselves, but they don't.
Yeah.
So it just is what it is, and you just kind of have to roll with it a little bit.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah,
you are so right.
It be what it be.
Yeah,
and that's it.
If there was someone listening, not just about the social media side of things, but if there was someone listening who wants to kind of do what you're doing, what advice would you give them on how to get started?
I think just doing it, because I think a lot of people think a lot of, like, now, like, they think about doing stuff a lot. It's like, just sometimes you just have to take the step and do it, and that is literally the first. It sounds simple, but that is the first step. Just go for it.
Feels like a big one though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and it is scary a lot of the time because you're putting yourself out there, and it's a vulnerable position to be in. But ultimately, I watched a video the other day, and it really put things in perspective for me for that day, because I was like having one of those days where I was like, everything is going wrong, and I watched this video, and it was like, literally in 2 generations' time, no one is going to remember you, right? Literally no one. Like, could you tell me, like, your great, like, do you know what I mean, grandma or granddad's name? And the answer's probably no, right? So, like, you might as well in your lifetime just do what you want to do, because, like, ultimately, that's all time is of the essence. We don't have a lot of it. You might as well just use the time that you have to do something that you like doing. If you have I understand that not everyone has the opportunity, but find a way. There's always a way. Like, I literally, my first studio equipment, and I still use some of it today, I won in a competition that I entered because I was saving up. It would have taken me ages to save up. I entered a competition and luckily ended up winning it. So, like, find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. Just find a way. Put your foot in the door and wedge it open, because you've got to do that sometimes. It's hard. Just go for it, though. There you go, guys.